Hello everyone, welcome back to Just Invest Today. In today's video, we're talking about David Tepper, a famous hedge fund manager. He just came out and said, buy everything China. We see what's happening in the market due to the stimulus. We're seeing companies like Baba, like Tencent. Tencent's up like 50+% year to date. Baba's up 43+% year to date. We have JD.com up almost 46% year to date. So all of these Chinese companies are flying so high. You know, I already have 70% of my portfolio in China, so I'm killing it now. It's finally been the time. We've been waiting for this moment. So we're gonna go over what David Tepper said about China, and we're gonna review the video because he is super bullish. This is like the first time in a while a hedge fund is bullish on China. We know everyone is super bearish on China when you go back to anyone like Warren Buffett or even Ray Dalio. They've been talking a little bit negative about China. So guys, we have to analyze what David Tepper said about China. Before we do, can you like and subscribe to this channel?
I think interest on the net, you immediately thought China and currency differences around the world. So that was more important to you.
Because the undervaluation is, you know, listen, you can look at your chart and look at a chart of Baba on your screen right there, whatever stock you like. In China, they are, even with the recent moves, they're like on a flat line low compared to where they have been in the past. And you're sitting there with single multiple PEs with double-digit growth rates for the big stocks that trade over here. That's kind of versus what, you're 20 plus on the S&P.
Right here, David Tepper makes a great point. We're buying single-digit multiple companies in China, and those are the best businesses in China. If you look at this chart, look at the forward multiples of these companies. Can you imagine if this was Google, or if this was Microsoft, or if this was Facebook trading at 9 forward multiples, 8, 7, 6, businesses that are still growing and they still have a strong potential for growth? Guys, this is what we're seeing in China. So the undervaluation is insane. And this is while the S&P is trading at all-time highs. So we're seeing the opposite happen right now. We see the Hong Kong market, the Chinese market trading at all-time lows while the S&P is at all-time highs.
Okay, and then you have, so the question was China going to do the things that you want them to do? Okay, are they going to do the easing measures that you want them to do? So yeah, they came the other day, and what's his name, Pan Gongcheng, and I apologize because I can't even speak English well. You know, he came out and he was like jovial. It's like, whoa, jovial, saying we're going to cut and we'll give you more. And he said we'll do more and more if needed. Now the Chinese to say we'll do more and more if needed, they don't say that because it's not been healthy to say those sort of things in China. But they said that the other night, and I listened very carefully what government officials say. So I took it that they did a lot. They exceeded expectations, and they promised to do more and more and more, okay? And that's very strange language, especially for, any central banker, but especially over there.
So there you have it. The government is doing the most stimulus it's ever done in a while, since 2020, and it's doing, I think, even more than that. It's reducing the reserves in banks so they can actually loan out more money. Mortgages on your second home are not as expensive. Guys, China is doing everything in their power to get that 5% GDP growth. And the main thing that he talks about right there is that they are encouraging companies to buy back stock.
The Europeans are lowering rates, and now the Chinese are lowering rates, okay? And they're aggressive in how they're going to do it. And they're also, believe this or not, swap facilities to buy stocks, encouraging buyback of stocks, encouraging buybacks of stocks. Okay, this is China, all right? This is stock buybacks, not only encouraging it, lending you money to do it. And they're giving money like TELF money where you can put money out and you have no losses if you want to do it. You know how that thing works? You have only the money you put up and you don't lose money. That's a great deal for me. I want to be over there and borrow for some of this stuff.
They're actually loaning you money to buy back stock, which is insane. And it's going to be an amazing deal if the companies are undervalued. And we know all of these Chinese companies are undervalued. So they're actually doing really good with your money because a lot of these companies are trading at like 10, 15, 20% free cash flow yield. So running out like a bandit. Get all that money and invest all that into the company and buy back your shares at these amazing prices. Here's where David Tepper talks about buying everything in China, and we're going to look at his portfolio after to see kind of what he's looking into.
Back to China again. Just
which I think is the biggest
thing that people really have to go and understand it, because it has implications all over in bonds, currencies, and stocks. So we didn't talk about the currencies and the bond side.
But just with the stocks themselves, I'm just thinking of your positions. Alibaba was a huge position. You really loaded up in the first quarter. You cut back, I think, in the second quarter. What are you doing now? Did the China moves over the last few days, but just because you were saying in the past you wouldn't go more than 10 or 12%, or the most recent things we've seen are that you have about 12% of Alibaba. Does that mean you put those aside and you would own even more than that?
As I said, the value of it.
Did you see that smirk? That's crazy.
This model is what I sleep at night. I had a fine. I went over that limit on the Fed announcement.
He is so confident. This is like not fighting the Fed. He's so confident that the stimulus is going to work for China that he's just going all in, which is insane.
Okay, the last week I went more when they said a day or two ago on their Fed, and last night I did more.
Just Alibaba, or are you talking JD, the Baidu, PDD, and two Chinese?
Everything. ETF, start with the futures, right? Everything. Listen, a long time ago, in 2010, I think I said everything.
So as we see, David Tepper's largest position is BABA, but he actually reduced his position by 6%. And I think this was after the little run that BABA had. But now he's talking about buying more and buying everything. So we're going to see next quarter if he's actually true to his words that he's buying more BABA, or he's just saying that, because he reduced PDD by 7% as well. So he has BABA, he has PDD. What else does he own? He has Baidu, reduced by 7%. So he's been reducing his China holdings. So let's see if he's actually correct in saying he's buying more now. He increased his JD.com by 18%. What else does he have? Oh, and he has the Crane shares. So this owns like Tencent, BABA, JD.com, PDD, all the main businesses. So he is actually serious about owning a lot of Chinese stocks, because think about it, we don't see a lot of hedge funds doing this besides Michael Burry. Like, he's like the only other person that owns a lot of China. So it's gonna be so interesting to see next quarter if he's actually doing what he's talking about, or he's just all talk. And we're gonna see what Michael Burry is doing. Is he buying more? Is he selling? That's gonna be such an interesting portfolio to see. Is he taking profits off J.com, off BABA, off Baidu? We're gonna see next quarter, because it's gonna be very interesting. Guys, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Peace.